Alright, look, all the drawings I've done in my spare time starting to accumulate. So to get my YouTube going, I have to at least start putting out content more often. So some of my projects are here in these files. It's a lot of just stuff that scatterbrain art, I guess. So there's a whole gamut, whatever. All right, so recently and more focusedly, I reckon I have about 3 comics in the work right now because my brain is all over the place. These are my basic fundamental characters. Seneca, 50-50, of course, Gunther, Bo, Jeremiah, Red. This thing focused on Nick. What roles they play have yet to be seen, but we'll just take one for example. Let's go with Jeremiah. Just look at his conceptual birth or whatever. So this is just a character I had in my head. Not a lot of reference for any of these, just more imagination than anything before I start having to buckle down and make this solid, more or less. So that's him. Let's take a look at Nick. These are pretty shallow characters right now. I don't have a lot of depth to these guys. I have more for some than others. Oops, did that wrong. Let's go here. It's just rough concepts. And bear with me before I get a tripod. I have one, it's just a very small one. I don't have a good setup as it is anyway. Take a look at Red. Well, let's go in order. Why don't we? We've got there. I just polished this one up today. It was hanging out for a while. I'm getting the basic concepts of him down. Maybe I should slow down a little bit. They're all woodsmen. For this comic, takes place in like a bygone era, but at the same time fantasy, because I don't have the whole history nailed down of the era I want to target. So, like I said, I'm just kind of fooling around right now with it. But I got enough to make a comic and start going along, ad-libbing as I go. So Gunther, he's going to be a stable character. Staple. Like I said, very rough. I plan to finish these rough concepts at some point. Peter Olsen. Did I just polish that one up too? Very rough, very rough. Sketch I did at work, and then just transferred over into whatever this is. iPad? What is it? Yeah, you know the thing. Alright. I got places, like environments. Rough stuff, like I said. This is from a long time ago. This is a picture I drew just out of my head, and then transferred that to I think I had Krita at the time, or Metabang Paint. I was going between both of them. I have Metabang Paint on here too, but it's been kind of fading out. I've been leaning more on Procreate than anything. My style's kind of all over the place. It's my first kind of like real full-length video or whatever, so just bear with me as I try to pace everything out and whatnot. Probably come up with the catchphrase of the intro like everybody else at some point, but right now it's just rough, rudimentary. And very remedial, just like my English. This is undone, unfinished. This is actually from a photo reference that I took walking around the neighborhood. It's just all made up. This is reference from a bar. I guess it's a microbrewery. It's called Polite Provisions. It used to be called Polite Provisions. I don't know what it is. They always change that spot. It's right on the corner. It's like 20s style parlor looking place. Like it. That one I made up from imagination. Same with this one. This is a very old one, probably like 7-8 years old. It's another one I made up. This is actually from a photo reference I took from a screenshot from I actually took a picture of a scene from Bonanza on TV. The only thing that stands is the rock formation. Characters I put in there, the trees. There were trees there, but these are totally my own. I shaped them myself. It's roughly where the trees were, but I like the rock formation in particular. I like the composition of the scene, so I snapped that photo and used it as my own. That's something I made up. That's why it looks so sloppy. That's a picture from my hikes, mission trails. It's another picture. I don't know if I can use that. It's pretty barren, but I don't know what I was thinking. It's another one, of course. That one, I used photo reference heavily. No tracing or anything, but I referenced the photo and then warped it to an extent. Made the picket fence. It had a chain link fence in front of it. I think I went the easier route with that one. That's just some schematics I made up. This is something else I made up. Don't even worry about that one. It's a very old drawing. That is something, I don't know what I'm doing with that. I won't say nothing. I'll just sit back and look at these. That's reference from the photo I showed you earlier. From a hike. That's heavily photo referenced. That's from a photo I took at Balboa Park. That was just made up. That's a street that looks horrible compared to what that street looks like in real life. This is a mixture of photo reference, and I threw the characters in there and modified that train and the scenery. That's a schematic of some place I'm trying to formate. Alright, what's that, coming up on 10 minutes? It's pretty good for a first video.